So these are the things that you need to do before marriage, and obviously hii ni ile ya wale watu wenye wataka go into marriage, but these are the things that you need to consider that you need to do before marriage. Number one, cut off all your exes. Kuna watu wenye usema ati sijui nitabaki na namba ya huyu mtu sijui nini. Imagine don't, because at the end of the day that person can come back to your life at a moment yenye unataka kuwa loyal to your person, at a moment where you don't want to mess up your marriage, alafu huyo mtu anaanza all of a sudden kwanza kukuongelesha, you know. And sometimes that's not a good idea, because it can evoke some emotions in you that you didn't know that were there. Okay, so it's very important, and you need to understand that sometimes hizo opportunities una create for your ex to come back, anaweza come back at the wrong time. Anaweza kupata uko married, imagine your life is going well, and then maybe amekuja ile time yenye ka marriage kuko na issue, mna struggle, ama kuna venye ka argument kako hapo, and then imagine that person coming back into your life at that particular moment. You can risk ruining your marriage because of your ex. So number one, cut off all your exes. Number two, you need to go back to your DMs pale social media. Kama ulikuwa ule mtu wa ku-DM, sijui ku-DM huyu na ku-DM huyu, imagine just find a way to delete all your DMs. Like, forget the past, try to bury that past and enda one by one ukidelete hizo DMs zote. You know why? Because you don't want one day umekaa tu hivi, you're a married person, and then siku moja unaona ka DM kameingia titing, unaona, and you look at the conversation, kumbe huyu ni mtu mko mnaongeanga, and then you see. So it's very important for you to go and delete those messages, because at the end of the day, you see, those are memories of a past life, and now you are entering marriage, so you don't need to have that past life in your life. And I don't need to tell you, hata picha za watu wengine, imagine delete. You know, kuna times zingine zenye unaweza pigwa picha na mtu, probably you guys were dating, alafu uende uisave kwa email because you don't want to lose it. Hizo ndio vitu before marriage, endo delete hizo vitu zote, because now you don't want those memories going into your marriage life and trying almost to ruin your marriage life. Hautaki hizo vitu zinterfere na marriage life yako. That's why it's called a marriage life. Why? It's because you are starting a new life with a new person, ama a new life with the person that you love. So it's very important to understand, fanya hivyo before marriage. Another thing, close down all your dating sites. Yani hizi vitu zinakaa simple, but there are people who ignore to do them, and they find themselves in trouble, because now you're in marriage. Unakumbuka, haya nakuanga na account Tinder na kuna mseme kutumia DM, unakuanga na account Badu na kuna mseme kutumia DM. So delete all your dating sites, because at the end of the day, hautaki hizo vitu zikudistract once umeingia marriage, and it's important for you to do that, because it also shows respect for your partner. Partner wako anakuangalia hivi, anaona simu yake haina nini, because you took your time to delete the past. So kind of try to delete the past, maybe not bury it, but just forget about the past. Make sure umetoa hizo evidences zote, ama hizo vitu tu zote, hizo distractions zote, so that now you can start a new life with a new person, and with that one person that you're getting married to, ama the person that you're marrying. Okay, kitu ingine also you need to do before marriage, you need to learn emotional intelligence. Lazima ujue watu wanakuanga na feelings, watu wanakuanga na emotions, and maybe this I'm telling to the guys and also the ladies, because kuna madem pia wenye hawako emotionally available. So you need to be the person mwenye unajua emotional intelligence ni nini. Okay, research about it. But emotional intelligence basically unaweza grow by interacting with other people. Treat people well, learn how to treat people, learn how to know when somebody, ile time umesema kitu una feel huyo msee kuna venye hiyo kitu hajaichukulia poa, and listen to people, because most of the times watu wengine ndo wanakujua, so wanakama wanakuambia by the way unakuanga hurtful na words zako, by the way hupimangi comments zako, by the way unakuanga harsh na zile words unaambianga mtu. You see those things, you need to consider those things, because there is a reason why watu wote wana notice unafanyanga hiyo kitu, but you are not noticing it. So that's emotional intelligence. Lazima ujue kila mtu akona emotions, and you can do something either by kuisema or either by action that can really hurt someone emotionally, and you really don't want to do that once you go into marriage. I'm not saying hakutakuwa na arguments, but also you can argue with somebody and have a disagreement from a point of understanding, also of having emotional intelligence. Unajua you can't cross this boundary with them. Hawezi, hata kama ni kurudishiana maneno, kuna kitu hauwezi sema, kuna kitu hauwezi mwambia, like insults. You see, marriage is not the place that you wanna go into alafu anze ati sasa wewe kazi yako inakuanga ni kutusi partner wako. That's not the thing that you need to do. Na hiyo ndio emotional intelligence ya kukuambia hata kama mna argue, hata kama mna disagree, you don't need to go into insults. Hakuna haja uite mtu umbwa and you're married to them, so it's not the right thing. So learn and consider emotional intelligence. Kitu kingine nitakwambia also before marriage, something you should do, date a lot of people, okay? Flirt with a lot of people. Maliza hiyo kitu. Remove that thing out of your system. You know why I'm saying that? Because at the end of the day, you know the minute you settle with this person, you might be with them for the rest of your life. So we are talking 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, okay? So you imagine if you don't, kama hauta exhaust that point of probably you want to know people. Unajua kuna kwa na hiyo excitement ya, you know somebody new, you are flirting with them, you are dating them, they are taking you out on a date, or you are taking them out on dates. It's important to understand that your life ni poa na ako kanaitangwa the dating scene. Ako ka dating scene ni kapoa, but then what you need to know is that you need to do it before you go into marriage. Usiende into marriage ati haukuwahi date mtu, umekimbia umeingia marriage. Trust me, there's going to be a deficiency in you. Kuna kitu utakuwa una feel una lack. Why? Because you didn't experience the dating life, you didn't experience the dating scene. So sometimes I feel like anytime mtu ananiambia ati I settled with my, you know, my initangwaje, my first love, ati niliolewa na my first love, sometimes naionanga kama red flag, because it tells me that this person didn't have an experience of the dating scene. So it's important to have an experience of the dating scene. It's important to meet different people, because even Apple, when you meet different people, ndio uta realize just how different people are. You realize how different, like, you know, people's personal views are, perspective yao ni different. Uta realize watu by the hamfananangi. So it's very important that you don't skip this dating scene. Ati sijui ulikuwa chase life ama ulikuwa unasoma. Even if you are broke, even if you're in that situation where you can't provide maybe for somebody, imagine just date. And date just simply means ongea na mtu, flirt with them, get to know them. Not everyone wants money out here. So kama wewe ni mwanaume, usichocho useme ati wacha kwanza nitafute pesa. You never know when utapata hiyo pesa. It might be 2 years later, it might be 3 years later, but you see, even 3 years, it's such a long time. Ati haukuwahi date, haukuwahi hata experience flirting with another lady, and it can even happen also to the ladies. So it's very important for you to understand, do those things. It's important for you to do those things, because now you have experience, so that hata ukiingia kwa marriage life uko na two story to kutell, and you have experience of how to treat people differently according to their perspective, experience na background yao, okay? Another thing to do before marriage, always consider that, imagine kama unaweza jiweka, if you are not in such a hurry, please don't get a child. Don't impregnate anyone if you are a guy. Don't get a child if you are a lady, if you are not ready to settle down with them, ama if you think this is not the person to settle down with. Kuna zile zenye zu happen by mistake, and that's why we say don't usipea mtu mtoto ama usizalie mtu kama hajakumari, kama hajaweka a ring on it, okay? There are some cases where mtu alidanganywa nitakuoa, akapewa hadi engagement ring, and then bado akaachwa. Those cases unaweza sema ni special cases, cause and yeah, that person thought probably this was the person they were going to end up with. But what am I trying to say? Don't get pregnant. For ladies, I'm telling you, don't get pregnant unless you know you are married to this person, unless you know this thing is heading to marriage, unless you know you are already married. Actually, hata ngoja tu until marriage, so that you can say, sasa let me get pregnant for this person. But hii kudanganywa huku nje ati sijui wacha ni nini, and that includes also taking responsibility as the lady to always remind the guy, protection lazima, because if you don't do it, chances zako za kupata pregnant, or chances zako za kukua pregnant are so high. So avoid that, okay? And even for the guys, avoid kukua na baby mama, so that when you go into marriage, they don't disturb your marriage, okay? So that you can give even your partner the peace of mind. Partner wako hana mtoi, wewe mwenyewe hauna mtoi, so you have a peace of mind. You can start a family together, a genuine family together, so that you can stick together in that marriage, okay? The other thing you should do also before marriage is invest in yourself and build yourself. You know, sometimes tukidate watu, we start to think now they are the priority. Tunaanza kuwape all our attention, tunaanza kuwape all our time, probably even all our money. You forget you need to invest in yourself. And this may be to the guys. You forget you need to invest in yourself. Lazima ujiinvestie. Because at the end of the day, think about it like this. When you invest in yourself, maybe you've built a good business. Of course, your business ndio italisha watoto wako. Your business ndio itarun familia yako. Your business ndio itaprovide for your family. So it's very important, even before you go into marriage, build yourself, so that by the time hata unakuja kupatana na mtu wako, partner wako. And this, you know, by the way, ina impact also the guy and the lady. It doesn't have to be at the guy tu ndio anatafuta, pia dem, okay? So that when you come together, you are able to bring something to the table, every one of you. Mwanaume anakuwa able to provide, and even the lady anakuwa able to provide to a certain extent, okay, depending na venye nyinyi mta agree as a married couple. But it's very important that invest in yourself, take time to invest in yourself. Usijisahau ati sasa we kazi yako ni kubuild watu wengine, unajisahau kujibuild wewe mwenyewe. So it's very important that before marriage, please build yourself, invest in yourself, start a business, you know, try to grow yourself. Unaweza jisomesha, actually unaweza do like a higher level of education, try to get the skills so that by the time unasema unaenda into marriage, history ya kusema tuchangiwe harusi iende ikiishaisha. Why? Because you already got your money and you actually don't need anyone else support. Labda ile tu wakitaka, lakini si ati unadependia na wao 100%. And my last point is, so before you go into marriage, make sure hujaishi na partner mwingine before that. You know why? Because you kind of like raise the chances of that person getting pregnant. Na simekwambia, don't get pregnant for anyone if you are not yet in a marriage situation with them. So it's very important that usiishi na mtu, because there will always be that temptation, okay? So yeah, mimi naweza sema usiishi na mtu, because at the end of the day inaweza leta so many complications when you live together, because one person on the other hand might think, tunaishi pamoja, now I can get a child. You know, the lady might start thinking like that, ati tunaishi pamoja, sasa it's time I think to get pregnant, nipate mtoi nini, na wao msee akikuacha. So it's very important for you to think about those things, because then you don't want that baby mama, you don't want to be the person who you always have to explain, baba ya mtoto wako wapi, you know. And I host so many single ladies, so many single mothers on my live show, and waliniambia niachage kutumia hiyo jina, sijui ni kwa nini, but they said ati nikisema single mother it shows like probably, I don't know, lakini waliniambia niache kutumia hiyo jina, but I have to use it for context purposes. But what I'm trying to say is, usikubali kukua single mother and then you are now out here, you are 22, 23, already uko na mtoi. And the question I always ask them is, do you still hope that utapata mtu mwenye atakuwa ready kukuoa? And most of them inakuwa 50-50. Kuna wenye wana believe watapata mse wa kumuoa, kuna wenye wana believe manze nilishachoma. So usikubali kuchoma, okay? So the only way to avoid it, and the best way to avoid it, don't live with anyone. Usiishi na mtu kwa nyumba moja if you guys are not married.
Gachin Lion.